Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again, and as of now, my first day and stream of Path of Exile Fall of Warrior 3.0 has come to a conclusion, in which I went from Act 1 to 10 in one sitting with Stormburst, and this is what I'm showcasing right now to you. This is the skill Stormburst. I currently have GMP linked to it, so we're firing more balls than you normally would, and I wanted to go over how I built my character, how I leveled with it, and what you can do if you want to do the exact same shit to run through the quest mode with this skill, which is new and I think has been pretty damn fun and effective to go from 1 to 10 through the new acts and all that without too much gear, and it did seem to perform rather smoothly. I think it's too early to say if it's got any endgame potential, but I do think you'll be able to clear fairly fast with it in the maps, and it's got okay single target. It's not incredible, but it does perform well enough. This is the Cruel Izaro fight. I was level 55 doing my Cruel lab, and the DPS for single target ain't too bad. So I did want to go over what gem links I think you're supposed to use for leveling, and just what passives I took and what ascendancy you go with. Just a real starter and beginner so that you know what to follow, what to do with Stormburst at this stage. Though like I said, it's too early to really give you any endgame conclusions. Whether or not this build will even be super viable for endgame is still up in the air for me. I just wanted to show you guys how to start out in case you wanted to have the same start that I did. So I'll start with the absolute basics here, guys, for Stormburst. Let's just say currently my character is level 66, and that's when I cleared all of Act 10. You first get Stormburst at level 28 from Maramoa after killing Gravicius. Templar gets it as a quest reward. Other classes may just be able to buy it after doing Gravicius. So it's at level 28. It is a projectile, it is AoE, spell, lightning, channel. So you stand still casting your little projectiles. As soon as you release the cast, they will then go up and explode. It doesn't have much damage to begin with. It's only got 5 crit, and the idea is to just shoot out a lot of balls so they overlap when they explode on their damage, and do lots of damage all together at once, and it does seem to have good enough damage at this stage. Now, prior to hitting level 28 and using Stormburst, you can use pretty much any skill you wanted. I went with Spark and some Stormcall action. Spark pretty much carried me across the line. At level 16, you grab Herald of Thunder and Herald of Ice. Those two together give you quite a lot of damage. Attach an added lightning to your spark, for example, maybe an arcane surge, a faster casting, whatever you really want to attach to the spark. It will get you 228 fairly comfortably, and I'll show you what passives I took in just a second. But the main thing I want to pass across about Stormburst is my experiences with the gems and what you may want to be doing with them. When you first grab Stormburst, it's not very impressive. Just shooting it by itself, it's not too good. It's okay on the clear, it's okay on the damage, but nothing too special, and it is slower than this. I have a bunch of cast speed on my stuff here. It's really only going to start being good when you attach an LMP, so that fires in a lot more projectiles, and that is pretty much just the most borderline acceptable version of it. And then when you get a GMP, greater multiple projectiles, you get 4 additional projectiles pretty much every channel, and you start to shoot a lot more. So that means that the explosions are going to overlap on bosses a lot better and single target and clear a much wider range of monsters. So you basically have to attach LMP and then GMP instead once you get to level 38. Otherwise it'll feel pretty bad. Likewise, you won't really have much single target until you get slower projectiles. You get that at level 31 by completing Library, and that's when the balls start to travel a lot slower, and then they overlap a lot better on a single target boss. So typically I have been playing around with my base 4 link was Stormburst, greater multiple projectiles, crit strikes, and then Ice Bite. You need some sort of green gem to map with and clear with that you can then sub slow projectiles into. And Ice Bite has been going really good for me. It's a bunch of added cold and it gives you frenzies. So I've been getting lots of frenzies, power charges, and endurance charges in my build, and this is where I get the frenzies from. When you go into single target, you drop a slow projectiles in, and it feels pretty damn good for single target. Now, before you have your Templar Cruel Ascendancy, which is this one down here, which makes resistances on enemies basically worthless, you do need to run a lightning penetration gem, and that'll probably go in place of the critical strikes, for example. Once you get your ascendancy over here, you get rid of the lightning penetration, so that should be at around level 55, and then once you get a 5th link, you can start attaching things like an added lightning, or a controlled destruction, or a faster casting, or even a crit multi. It's really up to you at this stage. I'm not quite sure what the best stuff is, but to me, added lightning has been feeling pretty good, and that's what I've been doing. So my current 5 link is Stormburst, Increased Crit, GMP, Ice Bite, and Added Lightning, subbing in Slower Proj for single target. My Power Charge maintenance comes from Orb of Storms, Power Charge on Crit, Arcane Surge, only at level 6, so that I'm getting it every time I press my Orb of Storms. As you can see, 4-second debuff, or buff, 4 seconds every time we press it, and then a crit strikes. So we get our power charges there and our Arcane Surge. Been running Herald of Thunder, Herald of Ice, and a Warlord's Mark on Blasphemy, because that gives us a bunch of leech and mana leech as well. So it's some good survivability and some mana sustain as well. Until you get a Warlord's Blasphemy, you probably want to run a mana flask. I was definitely running one for a while. Eventually didn't need it anymore, replaced it with a diamond flask. I also have a silver flask, a granite, and a quicksilver, but I used 2 life flasks for a very long time until I got this granite. Besides that, your gear, you're basically looking for resists and life across the board just to get you across the line in the early phases. Nothing about my gear is special at all, so you can see that the build and the skill can work off of a very modest gear. Summon Lightning Golem is just the golem I went with. You can go with whatever, I suppose. A Flame Totem I feel helps just for single target a bit and taking a bit of damage on bosses. And I recently got a Vile Stormcore, which is okay to help for single target as well. So use something like that if you really want to. Now your passive tree progression, if you want to follow the exact way I did, I'll show you right now. I will give you the passive tree so you can go more life or more damage as you passive along. Up to you entirely. My exact progression was going through here, up to here, these life nodes, these Ellie nodes, then these spell damage nodes, these 2 area nodes. I then went straight across to the witch area, grabbed these life nodes, the crit nodes, the blast radius nodes, grabbed the power charge, went across down here, needed a dexterity point, so I took that, grabbed these lightning ones, went down here and grabbed all of these. I then went up here through the life and grabbed these crit ones, and then I started to fill out other stuff like this, and then started going down here, and next I'm probably moving down through here to get these big life ones down here. But it's kind of up to you what you want to do. If you want to have the exact same experience I did, then you can follow that exact tree, start out with Spark, get to Stormburst, chuck in the exact gems I did, and go to town with it. So far I'd say it's definitely going to be a good map clearer, a solid build to at least clear maps up until, let's say, tier 15. Whether or not it's got good potential for single target or cast while channeling with other sort of skills, in the end game especially, I have not yet seen any proof of that. We'll see in the future, I think, with how it goes. But if you want to go from Act 1 to 10 with Stormburst, you absolutely can, and it's been pretty fun, and this is how you would do it. So, hope this helps, guys. Hope the video was somewhat informational or enjoyable, and as always, I'll see you next time.